Everyone is wondering, is joint family system is for me or not? For some, joint family system can sound like a cage, something that you want to get out, something that you don't feel really at home. And for some, it could be a blessing,
Yeah.
a shared responsibility structure that makes everyone's life peaceful and easy.
Yeah.
So, in this video, we can talk about 7 blessings that we have been through in living a joint family system and 7 curses that we felt living in the joint family system.
And make sure to stay till the end of the video because I'm gonna reveal what I prefer, and he also is gonna reveal what he's prefer.
Now, give you a background. My name is Sayed,
I'm Rawan.
and we have been married for about 2 years,
Yes.
and we have lived in a joint family system from her culture.
And his culture.
She's Egyptian background, I'm Pakistani background, and we both have lived into both family cultures as a joint family for quite some time. And here are some of our opinion that I'm sure you're gonna love. Let's start with some of the blessings that we have felt. The biggest advantage of the shared family system has been hands down shared responsibilities.
Yeah.
The fact that you can take anyone's car and go to work, or anyone can come help you, pick you up.
Yeah.
For any reason. For example, my sister don't drive or my mom don't drive, so as a joint family system, anyone can get out, take the car and go pick her up, rather than I only have to do it, versus there's a lot of other options as well if I don't want to
Yeah,
go.
it's like a little bit like you have someone in your back, like you don't feel like you're afraid all the time, because whenever you feel something or like you want something, you'll find someone in your back support you with that. For me, the biggest point here is the kitchen, because I'm staying a lot, or I'm spending so much time in the kitchen. So like having your mother-in-law or have your sister-in-law help you with that helps a lot and saves so much time, and you will feel so much comfortable. You feel like you will still living with your mom, because I don't have to worry much about, okay, that's like milk is finished right now, or like we don't have eggs, because I know that's my mother-in-law, she's gonna take care of all of that, and I'm just need to cook, for example, if I need it. And if I'm tired, I don't have to worry who's gonna cook for me, because I have my mother-in-law, she's gonna cook for me if I'm tired or if I'm sick. So it's like for me it's a blessing, like kitchen and cleaning the house, and that's the
in the
biggest
kitchen we had her
and my
then
mother-in-law.
sister-in-law, which is my sister, and of course my mom. So 3 people are sharing the kitchen. It the chores are a lot more divided.
Yeah. So my
instead of-
mother-in-law is like my mom. So because I'm still learning, and it's a very blessing in the beginning of marriage, because I'm gonna fail in a lot of mistakes, or I'm gonna do a lot of mistakes, because I'm such a still new bride. Because she has a lot of experience than me, so she's gonna guide me a lot, and she's gonna fix a lot. I'm learning a lot from her.
The other thing that's very important is the emotional support that you get from your family members, whether that's your brother-in-law, your dad, or your brother. For me, the biggest thing has been, if we all going to work, we'll realizing, okay, how are you doing in terms of work? Is it good, bad, beneficial, not so much? What I can do to help you in your work, emotionally, as in like support in terms of, hey, the things are not doing well, it's going to get better, things of that nature. Or maybe in financial as well, because we all living in under one roof and we share our expenses fairly easily. And that really helps as a man from my perspective.
Exactly. And instead of just living with my husband alone in the family, or like instead of living with my husband alone in the apartment, and if I have hard time right now, I don't have anyone to go through instantly, I still have my sister-in-law, I still have my mother-in-law. Whenever I need them, I will go to them. I don't have to call someone, I don't have to go actually to someone. They're literally living with me. That's, for me, play a big part.
One of the other bigger point in living with your family would be the financial stability. There's going to be times where you would need to buy more things, because whether that's in discount or it's just cheaper to buy in bulk, and that's where family is really helpful, because you're always buying in bulk. Let's say you go to Costco and buy a bulk of things, but you can't do that alone, right? Like you're only 2 people or 3 people buying in bulk, which means like it's just gonna go bad later on, right? So that's what helps. And then the groceries are divided into 3 people instead of 1 person, so that really helps, because you're although you're buying in bulk, but that bulk is also divided into 3 parts. So it brings down your monthly average cost quite a bit. A lot of time when car expenses come around, you can share cars every now and then, and that also bring the cost very low. Because in our family, I had like the car that has a bigger engine, So I don't drive that a lot. I will drive my dad's car when I'm home. When I'm going on a longer drive, I take my car. So that's just something to help with each other when it comes to gas.
The grocery part is play a big role with me as in the kitchen, of course, because like if I'm me and now, like, because we're living alone, the thing is getting in a very very small way that is finished a lot. You have to pay, like you have to go get them a lot. But like when I'm living with my family, they get things in a very big way, which is cheaper, as he mentioned, because we can get it in a discount, and also still there, so you don't have to go back and forth and get same thing over and over. So
Yeah.
it's, of course, it saves
Yeah,
time
so it saves time,
and
effort
money.
of you go back and forth, and then of course money, because you're buying in a bulk. The other thing, it really helps in terms of keeping your culture alive in the family, because if I'm living alone, my culture is not alive. My culture is actually alive because of my parents. They brought the culture to us, and then they're transferring that, although that transfer is not going to be at 100%, but the fact that the beliefs and the things that we are doing is mostly under them, and that's where the culture is transferred from them to us when we're living with them. And same goes with her. So she's getting like a first-hand culture transference from our parents, because my parents is Pakistani, of course, so that's what she's learning as well.
Yeah, that's true, because like living with if I'm living, me and him living alone, we're gonna act like a with the country that we are living in right now, like as a Canadian, but we're not gonna act like Egyptian or like Pakistani. So living with a family, it helps a lot to just absorb their culture and their beliefs and all of this. It helps so much with that.
And even the language as well, because when we're
Yeah.
living with our family, we're talking in Pakistani language, which is Urdu, so we are a lot more learning about the culture there. But when we're alone, of course, we're talking in English. We're not talking her Arabic or my Urdu, so there is no transfer of that culture either. Now, the next biggest point, which I don't think it's that important right now, but everyone has to put a pressure on me to kind of work on that, is this child benefit. So basically, the benefit of a child growing in a family versus growing with two parents, which is so much different. I know one of my nieces and nephews had such a delayed growth because of that, because they were alone and living on your own. They still are working on that, but this is what has happened a lot in our family, and that's how we are learning that living in a small in a community would be so much better for a child rather than living alone with two parents, plus living with other kids as well, right? Because if you're living in it, my sisters will have the kid, my brother has a kid, so these kids come in together and play and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's where the growth really happens of the children.
Yeah, it helps all, especially if you're like in a country, it's like different from your country. That will help a lot, because your child will not be able to go outside like and play in a street, for example, with other children at Pakistan or Egypt. So but here, it helps a lot to let them live with their own family and get to know that, because they can learn more from the elder people, because they have more experience. So his parents can teach my child or my children better than 10 times me, because I'm gonna just start learning, but they already have the experience, so it's helped a lot with that.
All right, the last point that we think is very important in living with a family is the social experience, the social environment that you get living with all of them, talking together, discussing, chatting, sharing picnics, or creating like small night outs with family. It's just wonderful. These type of things you cannot get on your own, because no matter how great the picnic is, it's just greater with the family.
You will not feel lonely, because you'll feel like with your family, and that's also it's play a big part in your mind, that you have to understand that they also are your family, not in-laws, so you can enjoy as much as you enjoy with your family. So when you go outside, it's more fun, like you have a picnic with the whole family, you have a children playing around, and like, yeah, it's so much entertaining. It's 10 times better than just living alone.
So we have been talking about all the good things. Let's get into the bad things. For example, the curses that we felt living in a joint family system.
Okay, so for the first point is the lack of privacy. I'm gonna start this point because I'm a girl, and it's play a big part of every day of my life as a hijabi, that I cannot live my life normally every day because there's other people in the house. His dad, of course, it's fine because I don't have to wear hijab in front of him, but I have a brother-in-law, I have his like all family is come, because it's a big house and everyone will come in. They have to be ready every second. While I'm cooking, I have to be wearing my hijab. While I'm doing everything in every day I have to be fully prepared with my hijab, with modest clothing. You don't feel like you have your own space. And in the kitchen you will find other people also have playing, like also contributing. They have their own style, so you have to come up like in the middle, so there's no privacy.
Yeah, and not just that, like privacy in general when it comes to doing things alone, right? Like you're technically never alone, you're always with someone, or someone can come in any time type thing, right?
Yeah.
Sure, to your room, that's fine, but outside of it, it's tough. Like you cannot, for example, go out alone and then have fun, or a longer route, because you know that it's going to look bad for the family if they're not with you, or they get to know about it, that you went there, blah blah blah, didn't invite others. That's probably going to be a little bit of an issue when it comes to privacy. But if you're living alone, you can do whatever you want,
Yeah,
and
no one
technically no one would know, and technically they won't even care if they know it, because they're not living together, right? So it doesn't really matter what you're doing at that stage. Now the next thing I notice is also there's a lot of conflicting generation, so to speak, conflicting ideas, because when you're living with a family member, if they're about your age, most likely you'll be fine. But if you have an elderly person, for example my mom and dad, of course nothing wrong about it. It's just that some of the opinions they have, I might not agree with it. Some of the opinion I have, they might not agree with it. And as a new couple, and especially her who's from a different culture, it's get even tough for us to put forward an idea, right? So there's lots of conflicts in general overall that rises in the family because of this.
With that being said, it doesn't mean like it's a big conflict, like we're having a fight or example or something like that. It's just like in a very basic thing. For example, they used to do like that thing in that way, but I used to do it in that way. So it just needs you to be very flexible and be open to for the other side opinion and be okay with it. That's all it needed from you.
Yeah, it definitely plays a big role in how open-minded you are.
Yeah.
Not just you, your parents has to be open-minded as well, or the parents you're going to live with also has to be open-minded. So both come together and they figure out a way that they're not going to be so annoyed by doing XYZ, and she's not going to be annoyed, or we're not going to be annoyed by doing XYZ. So you kind of have to come into the middle ground and figure things out. That's where this most important is, that you will have to literally sit down, talk to your parents or your brother, for example, or anyone who you're living with, and discuss few of the things that has issues. And I can guarantee you that you will have issues, but unless you've talked them through with them, nobody knows if the issue is actually bothering the other person, or is it just you all
Exactly.
along.
Yeah, and like and don't be sensitive about it. It's fun. Like you have to understand everyone has a different personality, everyone has a different mindset. You have to come in the middle and you have to sacrifice a little bit, because not everything is gonna be in your own way and not everything is gonna be in their own way. So you
Yeah.
just have to be flexible in that point.
Yeah, the other thing is that you have to worry about as a new bride is gonna be an unequal burden or unequal workload. Usually when there's a new bride coming to the family, family potential is usually that like, the new bride needs to make the room in the house, right? So she needs to stand out, so to speak, so that other people in the family member starts liking her. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky, because for her to go in and make her room in the house, she would have to do more things to impress, for example, sister-in-law or the mother or the dad, whatever that is. And that's where it becomes unequal, because then your mother-in-law or your sister-in-law will back up a little bit and let the newcomer work on a little bit more. Now, nothing wrong on that side too.
Yeah.
There might be reasons why they're backing out. For example, they work or not, if they are sick or not, many cases. But generally, I think because that new bride is coming in to win their hearts, and that's where she has to do more than what other people are doing, and that's how it's become an unequal burden on the new bride.
In that point, I just want to mention something. It's a curse, and it happened a lot in a lot of family, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna happen with you. For example, for me, I was blessed with a family, like his family. His mom just wanted me, like when I was a newcomer, she just wanted me to sit and relax and don't do anything ever. But I was the one who was passionate to do that. I just wanted to show them that. So it doesn't mean that you really get face that, but it happens a lot, but not with all the family. It just like you have to just be like a little bit generous and show some gestures. Like it doesn't mean that you have to do it every day.
One of the other drawback in living with the family would be your individual self will not be able to grow as much because you're pampered all across the board. You're getting help all across the board. You're never alone to make that critical decision that could grow you, that could take you to the next level. And you learn to be dependent on the decisions that's made collectively. Like, for example, if you have to make a big decision, you have to go talk to your dad or your mother-in-law, father-in-law, things like that, because you're not too comfortable with making a decision on your own, because you haven't been, right? You're running towards your dad and mother because they are elderly, they have more knowledge, they'll be able to give you a better idea. And that's where the growth of an individual person is lacking quite a bit.
Even with a lot of girls, like they becoming a lot dependent on their parents because they are not able to take decisions or like to initiate things on their own, because they know that there's someone in the background. They take these bigger decisions, so they will never be independent, or they will never take the full responsibility with things.
Yeah, exactly. So it could go up to like small things, how much onion I should put in for 4 family members versus which car is the best car for me to buy. Like the decisions could vary from small to all the way big ones, but it does play a big part when you're living with the family.
Exactly.
The other thing you have to also keep in mind, because you're living together with relatives or family members, there's a big potential of getting gossips and discussion and backbiting into the conversations, and that happen more frequently than we like to believe, right? Again, not discussing from my mom and my parents' perspective, but in general, when two people are talking, they saw someone did something they didn't like, they will go talk to someone else, and someone else will talk to someone else, and it just become a whole big mess. And we're all technically end up doing a sin, because backbiting in Islam is a sin. Not just that, like it creates a sense of depression for the person they're talking about. Like everyone is saying some different thing about that person because what they did, and what they did could be really small. By the time it get to the third person, it's probably portrayed as a big thing, and that's just got bad in general.
Yeah, and trust me, like gossips, it doesn't mean something very big. They gonna gossip in a very bad way. It could be very small, but the problem here is that like it could be something like Rawan is drinking coffee a lot in a day, something very small, but like if my own mom said that, I'm gonna just, for example, go fight with her or something. But I can, because you cannot do that with your own in-laws, of course. So it's because like it makes you sensitive a little bit from these gossips, even though it is very small. It's like nothing.
Jealousy could come in, and that become a big insecurity as well. If someone is making more money than someone is not making more money, if someone is doing good in business versus someone is not doing good in business in this same family. Someone bought a new car, someone doesn't have a new car. So things like that could add up quite a bit, and it could cause few issues that you didn't think it would.
In a joint family, it's make a lot of comparative and a lot of jealousy, because imagine someone compare you with someone else and make this other person is like doing something better than you. So of course you'll not be happy with that, and of course it's gonna raise a little bit jealousy, and therefore it's gonna make the relationship not the greatest. So that's a very big issue. I think it starts with comparative, like you don't have to compare anyone with the other one.
Now, the last point in terms of curse is that it makes you delayed in decision making. Now, this is probably one of the biggest ones, because a lot of the time, for my perspective, I need to make a quick decision for XYZ, and I know that this decision will change how I do things, right? But I can't do that, right? I have to go talk to my dad or my brother-in-law, figure things out, get them on board, and then make a decision. Again, it's nothing to do with my family specifically, but I'm just saying in general, you would have to go and talk to a lot of people to just get that one decision approved. It could be you saw a TV on sale, and you're like, oh, we have been struggling with the TV. I need a new TV. This is great. It's very cheap and it's perfect. Because the expenses are shared, it's just not your decision only. You have to go talk to other 3 parties, 4 parties, whoever's involved, and then get them on the same decision and make the decision. By that time, maybe the Boxing Day sale is over and you have no TV and you're back in the same stage.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. I agree 100%, especially for men, because I'm pretty sure men like take a lot of decisions their own and all of this.
Even it could be decision making in terms of what you're gonna cook.
Yeah.
Right, cooking is a big thing, because someone is coming over. I want to show my skill versus someone else showing
that's also
their
true, yeah.
skill. So I was like, hey, I want to cook this, but the person's like, no, I feel like they should be they're gonna accept more of this type of cuisine, and just get a big discussion before even something could happen.
Yeah, it happens. By the way, it happens a lot on a daily basis, in a very small thing that you will not even feel it. But
Yeah,
we're
like for
saying just
example,
for
what are you gonna cook today?
yeah.
One person will have a decision, different decision. The other person's gonna be different, so it just get a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, true.
So now we're gonna make a decision on what we think is best for us. Let's start with you. What do you think? Which is more preferable for you, joint family or single?
Okay, I prefer to live with a joint family for the first 1 year, and then like with a single family and be on my own.
I was actually gonna say the exact same thing. I feel like the first year after the marriage is important. Why? Because you don't have a criteria of when someone is at right and wrong, or when someone should do this and that. Because your mom and your family, your sisters are around, they will be able to guide your wife to do XYZ, or help them in the things that they know I like. Okay, that for example. And same goes with her. Let's say if I'm living with her family, I will get a little bit of an overview of what things she like, and I'll be able to kind of adopt to it, rather than she's coming to me and telling me alone when we're living alone.
Yeah, 100% agree. And same thing for me. Like it helped me to learn a lot as a new bride. It's the first time for me to live on my own. So if I'm alone, I'm gonna do a lot of mistakes. But just because living with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, that they have more experience than me, that's helped me a lot with learning things and being better. Now I'm living on my own, and I'm better just because of them.
Yeah, and especially because she's new to the country, so she needed to learn a lot of things, that how we do things in Canada, for example, right? And I don't even know that, because I'm not the one doing a lot of in the kitchen. So the best person to teach her would be them. When we buy a chicken, this is the thing you should keep in mind, this is the expiry, things like that. I probably wouldn't be too educated in that, but they were, and they taught her. So after that 1 year, and then what do you think?
Then I think it's better to be like in a single family, because you have to, like, because of the privacy, because of a lot of things that you will need it, and you will understand that I need this at this stage of my life, and you take what you need already from this 1 year. So it doesn't really mean that you have to stay like that for your whole life if it's not needed. But if it's needed, like from your dad or your parent, they need you, so of course you have to stay.
Yeah, because now after a year, you're kind of equipped with the tools that you need to live your life on your own, right? So that first year really is about finding tools and learning how to use those tools. So when you get to on your own, you have the tools. You can take those tools and go conquer the world. And again, this doesn't mean that your parents are not going to be on your back. They're still going to support you and everything. But the fact that you learn from them, and now you'd be able to make better decisions on your own. And even if it's not better, who cares? Because you are making that, and that you will learn from it, and you will grow from it. That being said, that is all for today's videos. If you have any questions about living with a family or living alone, let us know in the comments. We'll sure to get back to you. In the meantime, take care of yourself and of this channel. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.